Hello, welcome back to my channel. I've had 2 weeks off for Easter. I hope you all have as well. I'm going to talk today about, particularly to my Year 10 class, revision week. We're going to spend a week practicing some revision techniques, trying out a few things that we can use as we have got exactly 1 year left before we will be sitting our GCSEs. I'm having a few problems getting my PowerPoint to move on. Okay, here we go. What have we done so far? So you can see we've done 4 topics in each of the science sections. We've done 4 biology topics, 4 chemistry topics, and 4 physics topics. And the course that we're doing, AQA Trilogy, there's quite a lot of linking between the topics. A great example here is energy. Energy is a physics topic, P1, but it also is a chemistry topic, energy changes. And it's also fundamental to all of the biology chemical reactions that we've talked about. So it's a topic that spreads across all 3 things and links together. Biology, chemistry, and physics are not separate sciences really at all. They do all link together, and that's something we need to kind of start thinking about. Where does the information link so we have less learning to do? The structure of our course is only 40% knowledge and understanding. That means only 40%, 4 out of 10 questions on every exam paper are going to be asking you to remember a fact. 40% will ask you to apply your knowledge, to do with scientific inquiry, science investigations and things like that. And 20% will be about interpreting, analysing, evaluating and concluding the information that they give you. So 60% of your exam is not just remembering facts, it's applying your knowledge. Okay. Over the last year, I've been building up resources for you on your Google Classroom page. Here is an example of a knowledge organizer. I will make sure that all of the stuff that you need for year 11 goes up there as well now, because we're coming to the end of year 10. And what we need to be able to think about, as well as these knowledge organizers, I've been putting up pages of revision notes as well that I have scanned and saved for you. So you've got plenty of information to be working from. There's also links to websites that have all of this made already. BBC Bite Size and things like that has large amounts of information that can help you. What we need to think about doing is taking the information that we're given and finding a method that works for us. That means we can recall this information whenever we need it. So I'm going to quickly run through 7 study techniques. Some of these I've added links to on Google Classroom, so you will see in more detail if something takes a little bit of your fancy. First step is condensing notes. I like a system called the Cornell Note System. I've added a video on Google Classroom for you about that. This is where you take a first draft of notes. So I've been setting you videos to watch. While the video is on, you write down kind of key points, facts, and statistics, maybe sketch little diagrams, and this all goes in your first draft. You don't have to be neat, you don't have to be, it doesn't always have to make sense. You've just got to get down the information from the video in that section. Then you spend some time going through that information, picking out the key points or picking out questions that you could ask yourself that would be answered by those notes. Okay, but this is basically your second draft, your bullet points of your sort of notes in there. And then after that, picking out the important parts, you should be able to then write kind of a summary paragraph, which is about no bigger than 1 side of a flashcard. And this will help you take large amounts of information and condense them into smaller bits that are more important for you to remember. Okay, there's lots of things that you can use this for. Then challenge yourself to summarize chapters, topics, pages within a limited space. So if you've got an A4 book, or an A4 notepad, you can use that. If you have a look at the video I've attached, you might then be able to find out a little bit more information. Flashcards, if you take yourself down to Tesco's, there are lots of flashcards there at the moment in the aisle, but you can order again online. You can order big packs of flashcards. You can order spiral bound flashcards so that your notes stay together and things like that. You can order all of these. I know I always talk about Amazon. I do love Amazon. I'm sure that you can order them from other websites as well. So flashcards are a great thing, great for remembering definitions, dates, facts. Great if you like kind of structure. So you have the subject at the top, the topic, usually in capital letters so it stands out. Okay, color coordination, put your diagrams on, get your keywords on. This is going to really help you kind of organize the information. A third technique is something called memory maps. So you could do concept maps, which are a bit more kind of straight-laced, robotic, straight links like that. Or if you're kind of more artistic, you might be into mind mapping. So I have put another video about mind mapping, concept mapping onto your Google Classroom for you. This helps you link information together, helps you pick out the important things, helps you kind of summarize a topic in a visual way if you're more of a visual learner. We've got then technique number 4, pretend to teach someone. This is a good one if you're stuck at home at the moment and you need to see whether you understand a topic. The ultimate test is trying to explain this topic to someone else. So if not one of your friends, because you can't see your friends at the moment, maybe your family members, you could sit them down and you could try and teach them a concept that we have gone over, teach them what we've been learning in the week. If you find a person who's unfamiliar with it, they will ask you the kind of questions that you maybe have to consider as well, because they won't understand the information. Practice questions and essays is something that we'll probably do at school a bit more as the year goes on. So if you like to do practice questions and essays, then you can go onto the AQA website and look up our exam trilogy, and the past papers are there since the course began, and specimen papers as well. So you could do that if you wanted to do that, but this is probably something more that we'll do as the year goes on at school. Thinking about your revision, thinking about making a timetable, planning out your kind of future year. I know a year seems a long time, but really it's going to fly by. I like this technique called the Pomodoro Technique, which is a system where you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. And then you repeat this 4 times and you take a longer break, say half an hour. And then you split your day up then into bigger sections. So you could study quite a bit more in one day. At the moment, you might be trying to stick to your school timetable, and you could put that into your timetable. And as school starts to go back, you might decide that you want to just do 1 hour a night and split up 4 subjects. So you have all your subjects covered in the week. 25 minutes on one subject once a week is going to be a significant improvement on 0 minutes. Okay, so this is something is really good for people who struggle or procrastination, people who put things off until the very last second. This is going to help you get started. One final technique, which I don't really get on with, but you may be the type of person who really gets it, is something called visualization. Apparently the people who win the world record for remembering the most things use this technique, where they try and associate difficult concepts with familiar objects. So they close their eyes and imagine they're going through a journey in their house or a journey through their town, and they use the information that they have to remember, and they keep that information on different parts of the journey, so that when they recall that journey in the future, they can then remember the facts along with that journey. It might be something that's interests you. I haven't put a video on, but I am almost certain that if you Google it or look it up on YouTube, you will find more stuff about memory and visualization. Okay, so in kind of summary then, finding a way to study more effectively, turn your phone off, make a plan, prioritize your work. Try over the next few weeks to wake up a bit earlier, set your alarm as if it was still a school day, tackle the hardest tasks first. Split your revision into study sessions. It says 40 minutes there, but I quite like the 25-minute idea. Look after yourself and reward yourself. A lot of people like to maybe buy a bag of sweets, and every 3 pages in your book, they'll put a little sweet. So once you've done 3 pages of revision, you earn yourself a little treat. If you are not too keen on making lots of resources yourself, but you want to be able to do some revision with other people, I would recommend these pre-made flashcards. If your parents are, willing to buy you anything it takes to help you pass. This is the one I use in school. You might remember it's got questions on one side, and then I've split the card over and the answers are there. This is great for revising with people that don't know the subject material. So it's going to be a tough year ahead of us, year 10, but I know that we can do it. We're aiming high. We're going to try and beat our target grades, and we're going to put the work in now so that it's a less stressful year. I look forward to seeing you all again. I do miss you, believe it or not, and I hope that we are back together again soon. But hopefully these techniques will help you while we're off. I will see you again on Monday for our next set of online lessons. Have a great evening.